Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Express show this morning on MITV Plus. My name is Tom Adirele. It's always a delight to be on the breakfast show. I have with me Okpeyemi this morning. He said already, on Monday that he was going to be giving us a corporate outlook, and of course, he's looking very corporate.
Good time in life. It's the second day of the fourth month, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be visiting Jos today, and I think that's what a lot of people have been asking for. It's not like it makes any difference of sort, but it just gives a level of connection, with the people they are presiding over. So we have so much to offer on the show today, and we invite you to join us on the ride.
So we'll be starting the show as usual. First of all, we take the news for breakfast, and then we come to the Breakfast Express proper, and we have two segments. We have the newspaper review, and we also have the discussion segment. So it's time for us to do our newspaper review. Let's look at the lucky stories that made it into the newspapers this morning. I'd like to start with the Nigerian Tribune. CBN concludes banking sector recapitalization and raises 4.65 trillion naira. 33 banks meet requirement. Well, that's a good thing, though. APC woos Bala Mohammed. Atiku visits Kwakwanso. 30 student teachers hospitalized over suspected gas leak in Ogun. This gas issue here and there, whether gas leaking, gas explosion, and so on and so forth, is becoming quite common, unfortunately. Not a good thing, but, just to, call the attention of everyone, just for us to be a little more careful. We're having a lot of gas issues. Yesterday, the wife of the senior special advisor liaison to the Akwa Ibom governor. He used to be the editor of Ovation. Yesterday, his wife was buried. There was gas explosion in her house. These little cylinders exploded and killed herself and her younger brother. So we need to be more careful, just calling on everyone to be, more attentive and more careful when it comes to issues related to gas. All right, the banner headline for the Nigerian Tribune: INEC withdraws recognition of David Mark-led ADC. And the riders are delist details from its portal. Says it won't recognize any faction of party until court rules. Court vacates arrest warrant against PDP factional chairman Turaki. World Bank backs Nigeria's reform progress. Kaduna Court to rule on El Rufai's bail on April 14th. Tinubu visits Jos today and postpones Ogun trip. Unijust directs emergency evacuation of students as tension rises in Jos. Muftang meets Tinubu. Should we just quickly, look at that? I don't think it's one of the topics we will be discussing this morning. No. So can we just quickly talk about that? First of all, well, let's hear from you. Let's hear what you think.
I think it's a good one. Just to put a face to whatever voice of reasoning that a lot of people have been pushing out, because there were a few issues yesterday. A report of unrest in certain communities, Angwaru Kuba, where the unfortunate incident happened on Sunday. The governor relaxed the curfew, but it looks like when the curfew was relaxed, adequate security were not put in place, to put a check on some of those trouble spots. So there were a report of some issues around town, around the University of Jos. I guess that's why the management, because they actually postponed their exams already. The University of Jos was supposed to start the exam this Monday, but that was because of what happened on Sunday, they had to postpone the exams. But now the students are being evacuated, especially the ones at the university hostel. So it's not what we want to be discussing at the moment in terms of where our nation is and all of that. But I'm pretty sure that the visit of the president will give some form of assurance to the people that yes, this man understand where we are coming from, even though they can't feel their pain, but at least understand what it means for to be in their midst. So I think it's something that we really need to be intentional about. We need to be intentional about that. Beyond just declaring curfew, relaxing curfew, promising to bring the perpetrators to justice, and then it's almost like it's the same thing we keep recycling. You talked about whether there's a statement somewhere they just edit, and it shows the level of disconnect between the government and the governed, and so I think it's a good one. It's a good one for the president. We saw some videos yesterday, somewhere around was Nasarawa Guam. There was a report that a cooking church in there was being attacked, so they had to mobilize, security agencies to, calm the situations down. But I don't know what will change. But I hope the visit of Mr. President would, bring some healing to the people that are hurting at the moment. I hope so.
Oh, well, I would like us to look a little in depth, to that visit. I think it's a step in the right direction,
So too.
and I hope it will actually be done the right way, because it's not about visiting really. Because if the president goes and goes to the government house, I mean, you know,
It doesn't.
it
It
doesn't.
doesn't make much.
It's not going to
difference.
make much difference
But
really.
I'm not sure the president will go into the community as well.
Well,
Maybe the families of the
that
victims.
I think that is the way to go. I think the president should go and speak to the community, whatever it takes. Look, even if he needs to send his advanced security team and all of that, honestly, he should be able to speak to them, because of what use is it really?
Because what happened in Rukuba, then you go to Little Redfield where the government house is. And then
Exactly.
there will be reception again in the midst of the pains. There will still be funfair. A lot of other governors from the neighboring state, maybe the northern states, all of them will still come in.
Yeah.
And it just speaks some flashes of disconnect again, because the security will move in, there will be heavy vehicles, there will be a lot of flamboyant expressions and all of that. But I'm not sure if the governor could go into that community in
An
armored vehicle.
Yes.
I'm not sure if the president would be advised to go into Agwarukuba.
Well, nobody is going to advise the president as to what to do, but there are certain decisions that the president needs to be. Look, Rio used to say on the breakfast table that to lead is to die. Do you understand? To lead is to die, really, and nobody is going into death, with their eyes open. But I'm saying that there are certain things you just need to do. If anything comes, it comes. We don't pray that our president dies. You understand? We don't want him to die. But I'm saying that these people need to feel the impact. Do you understand? Is he going to visit the families of the bereaved, of the victims? Is he going to how is he going to do it? How is he going to go about it that it will make sense, that it will have a meaning, that visit would go down in history? How is he going to do it? I don't see too much danger for the president, really, if he goes. I feel the people would be consoled that, oh, this man came off his high horse to visit us. He knows what we're going through. He may not be feeling the pain directly as we feel it, but he came. That's what I think. I don't know, because that's what I think. So honestly, I think the president should, I don't know, maybe a stadium or something, just go there and address the people. Address the people. Say to them, this has happened. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. But we're here to promise you it's not going to happen again. We're going to do our very best. All of those things, it depends on what he says.
When the unfortunate killing happened in Benue, in Yelowa community, The president didn't go beyond Makodi. There were reports that they told him that the road to the village where people were killed, are not motorable. So the president couldn't go beyond Makodi. But what Agua Kuba is the heart of town, so it's not like the road is not good. The road is good, and so
But
I
honestly,
understand where you're coming
you
from.
think I see our president as having a heart too.
It does.
I see him as a bold person, really. So I'm not. If he doesn't go, I don't think it's because he's scared.
And maybe the families of, I'm sure the government will have kept in touch with the families of the victims. Maybe they could just send them, tell them to send in some representatives, but I'm sure there will be donation for them. There will be commitment as well. The Governor Caleb Mufwang, addressed the press yesterday after meeting the president in the State House in Abuja, and he said the president has approved some new, directives that would finally, end this crisis on the plateau. So maybe that's assuring enough. But the president visiting, and I would love to see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Agua Kuba just standing at that space, looking at the people.
Yes, he should
looking at
visit
their
the site.
faces. If possible, look at the sites where the unfortunate thing happened. But protocol, security, recommendation.
I promise you, if he goes there,
it will change a lot of
it
things.
will change a lot of things. And honestly, he will get the votes from those people.
Well, a lot of people are also saying that when the bomb blast happened in Meduguri, that's about 2 weeks ago, the president didn't visit.
I was actually coming to
I
that.
reminded them that about a year ago or so, when there was flooding in Meduguri, the president was in Meduguri to also, sympathize with the
them.
people that were affected. He's not going to be everywhere.
He certainly can't be everywhere. But you see, in this particular situation, it is appreciated that he had to cancel his very busy schedule, to fix this in. But in my opinion, I think this should have happened earlier. Yes, it would have been more effective if it had happened, as soon as
maybe Sunday, Tuesday.
Yes, something like that. I think it would have been more effective.
The national chairman of the APC is also from Plateau State.
Yeah, you said that.
Maybe that's why they were able to get the president to visit
go
at this time. Because I kept asking the questions even before.
Yes, you did.
Mr. Bayo Ononuga released the statement yesterday that will the president be visiting Jos? And he did. Like I said, I don't know how much healing that would bring. I don't know how much assurance that would give to the people. But I have a feeling that we may just start to probably have taken the biggest step in recovery for those people.
I think so too. I actually am in total support of this visit, and I think it would yield some good results.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so the riders for that story. I already read the riders, so that's really it from the Nigerian Tribune. No, we have one more story, health. And I like the Nigerian Tribune because they always have this little corner at the bottom of the page where they talk about health. And today they're saying excessive salt intake raises heart failure risk by 15%. It's not a study, but it's a report. So let's all be very careful when we're eating, that we don't eat too much of salt. They call it sodium. Too much of sodium in your system is not good because it predisposes you to heart conditions. Okay, we're done with the Nigerian Tribune. It's time for us to take a look at the Punch newspaper.
Okay, Punch is also reporting, excuse me, maybe like the biggest story from the last 12 hours or thereabouts. INEC derecognizes David Mark Aregbesola as parties revolt. With the rider ADC, PDP, OB reject INEC stance on Mark and Aregbesola. Parties accuse APC of inciting INEC and vows resistance. INEC insists decision guided by the court ruling sacks Nafiu Gombe as ADC chairman. Well, some update on the alleged coup attempts. Families of detained officers protest at the National Assembly. I'm seeing wives, with the banners, and of course, little kids. We don't kill our daddies. Hear their side first. I mean, I don't know what I feel about that though. are getting those little children, to hold those placards, maybe to appeal to
To the
emotions
emotional
or whatever
side.
it is. But I don't want to think that's an emotional blackmail. But I mean, it caught our attention. That's what we're talking about. Maybe that's the message clearly. At the top left corner, Wike fires back at Bauchi governor amid PDP crisis. That's on 2027 election. Manufacturers face 60% interest rates. And that is a report that is on page 9 of the Punch newspaper. Still on 2027 election, APC resumes e-registration. PDP faction claims 4.2 million members. And directly under the story, Plateau killings. Tinubu visit Jos. IG deploys mobile police. Easter celebration, federal government declares Friday and Monday as public holidays. I'll tell you why I laughed. Bank recapitalization, local investors provide 72% of 4.6 trillion for the recapitalization. There's another holiday, Friday and Monday. So I have a reservation about how we just shut down the economy and then and somebody said, oh, it's because you don't work in the public sector. The public sector is stressful. That's why you think it's not proper. Just last week, we still have 2 days shutdown of the economy. Now we're having 2 days again. So for the people that will enjoy the holiday, because some of us will not enjoy it because we'll be working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So for Friday and Monday, we're shutting down the economy again. I don't know about that though, but from starts, we miss a whole lot of money when we shut down the economy like that. Banks are not open, businesses are shut down. I don't know what I feel about that, and I would like to take your opinion about that as well. Do
Well,
we have too many public holidays in Nigeria?
I'll answer your question. We have a lot of public holidays in Nigeria, but guess what? It's not going to change anything whether you or I talk about the public holidays. We had these same public holidays last year, the year before, 10 years ago, 20, 100 years ago, and we will continue in Nigeria to have these same public holidays. So it's not new. It's just
Some
one of
people
the
are
things.
happy on the other side.
It's just one of the things that we just have to accept. As a matter of fact, Nigeria is such a predictable country, such that we already know when the year starts on
the
January.
days that-
Exactly, we already
there's
know.
October,
Exactly.
there's June 12,
There's
May
Workers' Day.
29,
There's
Democracy Day. I
come on.
understand.
Yeah, as much as I agree with you that shutting down the economy is not the best thing to do, but you see, every country has its peculiarities. You see, for example, if you're in the US, you're not going to be having all of these holidays. Even the Muslims don't have these holidays. The one time that they really have a big holiday is Thanksgiving. And that's for everybody.
That's like everyone
It cuts
in the
across
US.
everyone. Well, a lot of us go for that purpose. Some people, from everywhere come for Thanksgiving. So that's the one big holiday that they have. But that's the US. This is Nigeria. Nigeria is peculiar in certain
We
things
like
that
to rest.
it is this country. It is in this country. We like faji. We like parties. We like to socialize. We like to do all sorts of things. We just like ourselves. We love ourselves, and so on and so forth. The French don't do that. What the French do is they're more health conscious. The French countries, they take their break. They don't resume first of all early in the morning like we do, 7, 8 o'clock. They don't do that. Perhaps maybe 9 o'clock or something they resume, and by 12 o'clock they take a break. Everywhere is shut down around, is it 12 or 1? They take like a 2-hour break. You go home, you eat, you come back to work. These are their peculiarities. Do you understand? So unfortunately, this is where we are. This is where we found ourselves. We should be proud of our nation. Some things that they do, we cannot change. Perhaps when you get there, then we'll be looking forward to that
Maybe I'll
change.
even declare more. Let's look at the Vanguard.
Okay, let's take a peep at the Vanguard newspaper. The banner headline, ADC setback for Atiku, Obi, others as INEC axes Mark and Aregbesola. The riders here, quite tiny, but I'll try to read. Names of David Mark Aregbesola removed from its site as national chairman and secretary. will also not recognize their challenges, their challengers in court, says it will neither communicate with them nor monitor conversations or Congress. Wike, Bala Mohammed at loggerheads over PDP and APC. You are responsible for PDP's problems, Bala tackles Wike. Your exit from PDP, good riddance. Wike to Bala. All right, let's look at the above the nameplate. It says NNPCL targets 7 cargoes for crude oil supply to Dangote refinery. DSS detains El Rufai. Court fixes April 14th for bail ruling. Fresh tension in Jos as curfew relaxation triggers attack. Trump mauls withdrawing U.S. from NATO. Well, there's this picture story in the, on the front page of the Vanguard, but really too tiny to talk about. All right, that's it from the Vanguard newspaper. Time for us to look at The Nation.
Okay, INEC withdraws recognition for David Mark-led ADC NWC. That's the National Working Committee. That's the big story on the front page of the Nation newspaper. And on the top left corner, APC ADC in battle to win over Bala Mohammed. Very interesting one there. 31 Ogun pupils hospitalized after inhaling chemical odor. DSS whisked El Rufai from court to custody. Taraki's trial for fraud reopens on the 22nd of April. Tinubu heads for Jos. The picture of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the governor of Plateau State, His Excellency Governor Kele Manasseh Mufwang, are supporting that story. Now for crude policy shields Nigeria from global energy crisis, says the presidency. Okay, still on the banner headline for The Nation. 33 banks meet CBN recapitalization conditions as local investors account for 72.5% of the 4.6 trillion raised so far. CBN is giving assurance no bank is in distress, and I think that's a good one. Zulum gives 150 million to families of 3 slain army officers. Wow. Bauchi APC unites to endorse President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a second term. Bauchi State APC leader and coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, former Bauchi State Governor Malam Isa Yuguda, and Mohammed Abubakar at the Bauchi APC rally for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Bauchi yesterday. Okay, we just look at that. The APC ADC battle over Bala Mohammed, I'm sure you've seen that story as well. The Bauchi State Governor is the only non-APC governor in all of the 19 northern states. The entire 18 have gone to the APC, so he's like the only one out. And he released a video over the weekend, or he was addressing the leaders of the ADC over the weekend. I paid him a visit, and he says he reached out to the president, help us beg Wike to settle the issue in the PDP, and that the president was open to it. That he even swallowed his ego and went to Wike's house, and Wike said he has conquered the PDP, and there's nothing anybody wants to do about it. So he said he was going to the ADC today. And then by yesterday, we saw that I was meeting the national chairman of the APC and the governor of Kano State in Bauchi. So it's politics, and it looks like Bala Mohammed is the newest bride now that everybody wants to have in their camp. Let's see what the other paper is saying.
Well, aren't you going to let me respond to what you just put on the table? Well, my dear Okwayemi, I just want to ask you a question. Did you really think that man would have a meeting with the master of strategy and walk away and go to ADC or go back to PDP? No, I'm just asking. Did you really think that? But you know your president. He would cash in on the slightest. He will give him 1,001 reasons why not to even consider any other party. And that's, That's a good marketer. That man, he knows his way. He knows his way. You know, this man comes to you to complain, you know, and ask you to intervene, and the next minute he's on your side. Something
If you
went
can't
down.
beat them, you join them.
He was not forced to. He was convinced. That's it.
You know, they say that once you pay a behind closed door visit to the president and they release that picture of both of you, no matter the party you stand with, the moment you go into that closed door meeting with the president and they release a picture of you and the president, it's a matter of when, not if you are joining the APC.
Just in case you don't, just in case you have not been following the trends, just in case. But I know you're on top of issues. Cast your mind back to when this new labor union first took over, and you know, asking for minimum wage, and they were, you know, calling for all sorts of things. The minute they went to Aso Rock, they got into Aso Rock. You've forgotten. You see the clips, how they were even doubling for the president, shaking the president. Have you forgotten these things? I mean, come on, these people were spitting fire and brimstone.
Once they see the
They
president,
were spitting fire and brimstone.
And do 100,000 naira minimum wage.
No, you would have even thought that when they saw the president, they, you know, they would have said to him, "Look, we are here. You must meet this ultimatum. You must do this. You must do that." And he would say, "Okay, as you're going, here's the party. We don't want that party. We don't want it."
Making an excuse for the president.
I'm telling you.
Why we should
so
receive
why
77,000 minimum
are you
wage?
surprised? Why are you surprised now? Don't do this. Don't do like this now. Now, if you don't get it, then forget about it. All right. So, are you done with?
Yeah, we're done with the nation.
Okay, the Guardian newspaper. ADC blames APC for woes as INEC suspends ex-EXCOs over internal crisis. CBN begins regulation of virtual asset custodians as banks mobilize 4.65 trillion naira fresh capital. Plateau killings. Tinubu reschedules Ogun visit and heads to Jos. Fresh tension grips just after government relaxes curfew. Lagos. Benue leads as Nigeria reports 20,838 new HIV cases. Now, I remember when Donald Trump just came back and they said that they were going to withdraw every support, you know, that they were giving to, you know, all these African countries and all of that. And the first thing that came to my mind, and I mentioned on the breakfast table at that time, is that there's going to be a crisis with HIV because, you know, the antiretroviral drugs that were being supplied as subsidized, they were collecting for free. So, you know, all of a sudden we were not hearing about AIDS, we were not hearing about HIV and all of that. And it's not that people were not carrying this this thing, they were carrying it well because we had the support. Yes. And I said Nigeria is not going to be able to step into the shoes. Now, these shoes are going to be too big for Nigeria to step in and fill. You understand? And I said, guess what? We're going to record new HIV cases, and the ones that are already established may go out of hands if care is not taken, if the Nigerian government does not step in. Now, the other unfortunate part of it is that these viruses will now build resistance. For those who had, you know, been collecting the antiretroviral drugs free and don't have the financial capacity to continue to purchase these drugs, there will be a big problem, because once these viruses, you know, build up a resistance, whatever other drugs they take may not work in time enough to help them curb or contain as HIV. It will now go to full-blown AIDS. And I said it at that time. I said we need to watch out. And so I also called on people going to the barber shop, people going to the nail what do you call them, technicians places. I said be careful, because HIV is going to be on the increase and on the spread.
And the report is here.
And the
to
report
back it up.
is here to back it up. So the one call I will make again on the program today, this morning, is please let us be very careful. We don't have that number of antiretroviral drugs in supply. The US have withdrawn. I don't know what the Nigerian government is doing, because this calls for a very quick response, because before we know it, HIV and AIDS will take over the entire place, and we don't want that. We don't want that. We thought we'd put HIV behind us, and let's just leave it behind us. So we're calling on the Nigerian government, the health sector, to do what they need to do, to ensure that we curb and we keep this on the low. World Autism Days, care services, high cost of care deepen, and financial strain on households. Yes, autism is one thing that we need to actually be watchful about. And I'm saying this because I have experienced, a number of autism children. I went for a conference on autism at one time, and I saw this thing real. It was live. And from what my daughter tells me, she says that a lot of her friends have autistic children, and they didn't even know. And you see, the thing about it is that if you catch it early, you can actually
guide.
yes. So some of them don't even know that they didn't know they had autistic children. A couple of her friends called her to say, "Oh, do you know that so person is autistic," and so on and so forth. So one needs to find out what the symptoms, the signs are, so that you start to monitor these children right from when they're babies. And if you see any single sign, quickly take the child to the hospital. So to take care of an autistic child is not beans, or
it's a big deal.
It's not moi at all. It's not cheap. It's not easy. It takes a lot of the parents, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, and in every aspect. So I really don't know what causes autism, and and that's what I'm saying. Nigerians, stop doing yahoo. We're so intelligent. Can some people, rather than sit down and do yahoo, face the computer from morning to night? Rather than that, why don't you try and do some research? Do you understand? Go around, find out what could be. I mean, it could come from Nigeria. What stops this research coming from Nigeria?
I have a friend that works at a special school center on the island, and there was a time they had an open day. So she just invited me over to just come, keep the company of the kids and make them laugh and all of that. And when I go back home, the pictures couldn't leave my head, because I was looking at kids that are supposed to be like 12, 13, 14, that are supposed to be independent, that are supposed to be able to move around, play like normal kids. I mean, some of them were disconnected. Some of them were kept in a room because they get aggressive when they get noises.
Yeah.
There was just so much unique thing about them. That's why they call them the special kids. And just like you said, sometimes you sit back and you try to read up. Where is it coming from? Is it a medication gone wrong when the mother was pregnant? Is it this and that?
Is it hereditary?
Yeah, and the fact that early detection is not very clear. Some people just feel like, oh, my child didn't start walking on time. Sometimes he sleeps on the wrong side. You feel like, oh, as kids. So you don't really look at them, except when you go to a proper medical facility and they know that, oh, from birth, oh, your child is autistic. And it kind of changes the conversation for you as a parent.
I'm telling you.
You can't wake up and say, kill my child or end the life. So you've got to find a way to live through that system. You look at their growth. If you have 2, 3 kids and you have one that is autistic, what you spend on that one child that is autistic in a month, you may not spend it on the other 3 in a whole year.
Yeah.
Because everything about them is special. Everything about them is different. You have to get someone that is with them permanently as a caregiver, because there are times they get aggressive, there are times they get moody. You don't even know what
Correct.
flip of their emotions would wake up. Sometimes they don't sleep at all. Sometimes they have crisis, and I really feel for parents that have to
Oh
deal with
yeah, oh
kids that
yeah,
have
yeah.
autism. I really feel
I
for them.
even know, I know someone who's really really close to me, who has an autistic child. She is close to 70. I think she's about 69 now. She's close to 70. You know, sometimes it really gets on her last nerve because of course he's grown. You know, he's really grown, and sometimes she has to really shout, you know. But for the outsider, for the visitor, you would feel like, oh, she's not treating that child well. No, that's not correct. She also has emotions. That's her last nerve. You know, she really tried, but you know, sometimes you would snap. Even the one who's not autistic, the parent looking after the autistic child, would snap time and time and time again. It takes a lot of patience. It's like really testing one's patience, you know, and it's not one thing that one wants to have. But what are some of the things that autistic children can flow with? One thing I see that a lot of autistic children flow with and do well in is music. And it's so surprising because they don't like noise.
Exactly. That felt like a
I mean,
contrast.
yes, you know, they don't like noise, but I tell you, if an autistic child gets interested in music, plays one of the organs, plays something, means a musical instrument, he will top that class. That's one thing about the autistic children. And so for those who have autistic children at a very tender age, I think it will be a good thing to like play them, you know, some kind of classical music. You know, just let them keep hearing the music, and that may help soothe their moods. One thing again, another thing about the autistic child is that they have a magnetic brain. Everything you do, they see. It goes down in there somewhere and it starts to come out. They start to tell you what you did at different times, what you said to the letter. They will quote you. They won't miss a word from the sentence. They're so intelligent, honestly.
Unfortunately, there are still no known ways of avoiding, autism.
Autism.
There have been talks about that. Oh, maybe there was exposure to air pollution, maybe some pesticide while the mother was pregnant.
Pregnant.
Maybe some
Chemicals.
maybe there are reports that giving birth at a later age could also,
Yeah.
increase the risk of autism. And these are just things that have not exactly been deeply
Proven.
rooted in
Yeah.
research.
Yeah.
And we just celebrate them today. They are special kids, and for everyone providing care for them, families, their own parents, caregivers, especially the ones managing those special schools. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
When I went to that center on the island, I just told my friend that, how do you sleep? Because she says like they are literally awake all through the day, because at night, don't think you can sleep when you have a special kid that you are taking care of. You could have to clean them up in the middle of the night, give them water in the middle of the night, and if you don't respond to them on time,
They get so angry, very violent,
aggressive.
very violent.
So it's a big deal, and we celebrate them today. I would also celebrate everyone providing care for kids, special talent kids. I've seen a lot of them that can also draw. They are very creative.
They are artistic, they are creative.
I think it's a
They are-
channel.
Yes,
Music,
drawing, anything arts. They're very
because
very
they want
good.
to do this thing.
Yes.
I've seen kids with.
Did you see the guy
struggle to run?
Yeah.
A guy rode bicycle from Enugu to Lagos. He was received by the Lagos State Youth Ambassadors yesterday, and it's a friend of mine sent me a report that the governor will be meeting him also today, maybe at Onikon Stadium. He rode all the way from Enugu, and every state was getting to the cycling association of those states were
receiving
welcoming
him
until he got to Lagos yesterday. And I'm like, this is something different. This is something that would inspire you, that if you are complete in quotes, and then you can't factor your life journey, and there's someone there living with one of the rarest form of disabilities, could put that in context. I've seen kids I've gone to schools, I've seen videos where during inter-house sports, special kids are also doing the sack race, they're doing the egg race,
Yeah,
they want to
yeah,
march,
yeah.
they want to get involved.
Yeah.
They really want to get involved. And it's a special moment when you find time to spend with them. And so a lot of people taking care of them, they are doing a big job.
A massive day.
them.
We celebrate them today. It's a World Autism Day today. We celebrate all the children or people living with autism the world over. You know, we just want to say on the Breakfast Express table that we do love you so much, and that we pray for you, and that we pray that God will give you the grace to find that thing that makes you tick, that thing that will push you from the level that you are at now to the next level and beyond. Happy World Autism Day to you, and also to everyone taking care of autistic patients, children, adults, and what have you. We want to say we celebrate you also. You're wonderful, you're great, and you're blessed. Okay, finally from the Guardian newspaper, CBN begins regulation of, oh, I already took that. Well, so I think we're done. We're done with the Guardian newspaper.
Yes, I think we have the Sun.
The Sun.
As the last I will be touching before I will leave this segment of the show. Everyone's still reporting the ADC story. ADC in trouble as INEC sacks David Mark and Aregbesola-led NWC. At the banner headline, tension as just boils. 3 killed in violent protest against Palm Sunday deadly terror attack. PFN, non-self, condemned plateau killings, demand swift justice. Unijust authorities order immediate evacuation of students as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu visit Jos today. Bank raises 4.65 trillion as CBN includes recapitalization exercise. 33 banks scale the hurdle. There is a picture that was also used yesterday. The group managing director, CEO of Zenith Bank, Adem Adaora Omeoji, and the senior vice president, group country manager, Visa West and Central Africa, Aminata Kani, during the launch of the Zenith Bank Visa signature card at the Zenith Bank headquarters in Lagos. APC, whose Governor Bala Mohammed aimed to stall defection to the ADC, as federal government dismisses report of Ezegbo installation in South Africa, as chambers, as Ohaneze Ndigbo issues disclaimer. Okay. Don't stand aloof. End impunity in security now. Catholic bishop tasked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. PDP hit 4.3 million in membership registration. Southwest, Southeast, North Central leads in that regards. Okay. That's much of it.
So I think what the Catholic bishop said to Tinubu, don't stand aloof, and impunity and insecurity now. I think that's a major one. So he's not talking about what has happened already. He's saying end. For me, the key word there.
Don't let it happen again.
Don't let it happen again.
End it.
That's it. End. And I wish that someone could read that and take that single word out of it. Nigerians are getting tired. They're saying end. We're tired. We're at our wits' end. Please just end this thing so that we can move on to something else. And you know, the truth is that let's look at Nigeria being a secure nation. I was speaking to someone a couple of months ago, and I said, oh, you know, how we used to travel to Ife, you know, as students, you know, from one school to the other, from Unilag, we go to Ife, you know, to see our friends there and all of that. But the best time to travel at that time was at night. And when I was telling people at night, I said yes, at night, because we didn't even think that anybody would come out of any bush. We didn't. I mean, those thoughts were never ever there, because they never happened. So why would we even be thinking about those kind of things, you know? So we're saying that, you know, Nigerians would have a free head to think. you know, to do better things, to achieve greater feats and greater heights, you know, their heads would not be clouded. You know, traveling to Ibadan alone, even from Magboro to Ibadan, I'm like, my heart is in my
As
mouth.
close as that is.
Yes, my heart is in my mouth until we get there. I mean, that shouldn't be the case. So Nigerians are saying, please just end this thing so that we can move to another thing. We can start to, you know, be more productive.
Exactly. So that when the president is visiting your state, he's coming to commission projects.
Exactly.
Not to pay respect to families of slain victims. If he's going to Borno, is to pay respect. If he's going to Benue, is to pay respect. If he's going to Plateau, is to pay respect. If he's going to Kebbi, is to pay respect. Can we just be inviting the president to commission projects?
Commission projects.
And not to
exactly.
Sympathize with the people that have lost their loved ones. You know, my early days in Jos in 2014 was always on night trip. If I'm leaving Lagos at 4 o'clock, by 11 in the morning, I'm already in Jos. If I'm leaving Jos at 5 p.m., by 8:30, 9 a.m., I'm already in Lagos. You sleep through the journey. You don't even care if there's any banditry. You don't care if there's... But these days, it's the deadliest risk you want to take in your life. Even moving within the city.
And this is 2014, no?
Just 2014,
I'm even talking about the 80s.
This 2014 here. You know, because as at that time, it was only one airline that that goes to Jos, and it's only once a week, every Tuesday. So if you have no business on that Tuesday, you have to. If you miss the flight, you have to, come by road. And just all those luxurious buses, just book your ticket, pay, get a seat. Once the trip continues, starts, you rest your chair to the back, you sleep, you get money. Maybe they stop in Lokoja around 1 a.m. Everybody will stretch their legs, ease yourself. The journey continues, and then you get to Lagos the following day. There's nothing in this world. I pray there's no emergency or life and death. Nothing in this world make me travel from Lagos to Abuja by road. Morning, afternoon, midday, night, evening, early morning. No way. One of my best friends was getting married last year, and I told him, I said, the cost of flights is I can't afford it at the moment. Let me split the money into 3. Let me give you 2. Because it's not like you really need me like that. So, but
exactly.
Take the money, because I'm not going to travel by road. And it's unfair, because the beauty of knowing how huge this country is when you travel by road.
Honestly,
I've been privileged to move around different geopolitical zones in this country by road, and I know what it means. I moved from Lagos to Abuja to Kaduna to Jos to Gombe to Borno by road. That's when you see how huge this country is, how big this country. You see so many ungoverned spaces. You see greenery everywhere, and you ask, why are we having food crisis? But we have so much land that are uncultivated, But when you fly from point A to point B, and flight now is a luxury. It's not something everyone can afford, So I think we should start looking into that. The Catholic bishop is telling the president that end it. Don't promise. Don't end it.
End it means whatever you can do. Whatever you need to do.
Do it.
Do it. And just end it. We don't need the details. Spare us the details. If you don't give us the details of how you spend our money anyway, so why do you want to give us details of how you're going to quell this? Whatever it is you need to do, just do it.
Just end it.
We're tired.
Enough excuses. We've had enough reasons. We've had enough, things to hide under. Oh, it's religion crisis. They are trying to blackmail the administration. They are trying to frustrate the administration. Oh, they are sabotaging the effort of the government. It doesn't really matter to me. Every single life in this country matters. And the fact that you are the president does not make you more Nigerian than I am.
Precisely.
It's just a privilege. And the only thing comes with the seat you're occupying at the moment. So the way you deserve to be protected is the way I also deserve to be protected. So that is a big message to the president from the Catholic bishop. End insecurity now.
That's it. End it now. On that note, we will end this segment.
Something must end.
Exactly. So everything that has a beginning just has to have an end. So we'll end this segment of the Breakfast Express. We would take a break right now, but with an assurance that we will come back. So don't go anywhere. Don't touch the dial. We're still coming back. And when we come back, we have more for you. Please stay tuned.